Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, you know, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Oh, thank you all. Thank you so very much. Welcome to Toker Talk Radio. It's hump day, so get to humping. Hey,
pants check.
Pants check. Yeah, we're all right. Okay. So, yeah, thanks for being here. I wanted to make a quick, I wanted to play a track here. I played one earlier on hour one, but I didn't announce who it was from. And it's from our good friend Ngaio. Ngaio Bilam. Ngaio.
I love that guy.
Ngaio. Ngaio is his name.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, mnemonics. I know my audience, man. So, Ngaio's got a new album out called Weed and Sex.
What?
Yes, Weed and Sex, and you can get it on Spotify. Now, if you're not into the whole Spotify, here's my quick thing of what Spotify is. Just the app for music, basically, and it's kind of like music sharing.
It's the new Napster.
Yeah, imagine that you had a CD library with every song in it. That's Spotify, and you can share it and play it and all that. Well, anyway, if you go and get his album downloaded on Spotify, he gets money out of it somehow, passively. I don't know how it works, but
it's a click per
click licensing thing. Yeah, it's kind of like when you do web advertising. You got a banner ad, and how many times they click it, you get money.
Well, yeah, and so likewise, when they click on his album thing, there are ads that are on that page that generate revenue, and the little tiny bits go back to.
So I wanted to give you a little more Weed and Sex. This is Ngaio Bilam with Weed and the Founding Fathers.
I love marijuana. It used to be legal until 1937. The Founding Fathers, Jefferson, Washington, all those guys, they grew it, they smoked it. The Declaration of Independence, originally written on hemp paper. Hemp, marijuana, pot. Makes better paper than trees, better fabric than cotton, and you can smoke it and talk about shit. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Write that down. We'll forget. Don't forget. That's why John Hancock's signature's so big. He was fucked up. Hell yeah, I'll sign that shit. Hell yeah. Look, 1 foot. Cock. They smoke weed. Ben Franklin smoked all the weed. He did. He's out flying kites in a thunderstorm, high as hell. Dude, I have a theory. Fuck that. It's gonna work. He invented bifocals. Just showed up. Woo, check it out. It's like a kaleidoscope. The national bird is the bald eagle. What bird did Ben Franklin want for the national bird? The turkey. Stoner. Ben, the eagle flies great graceful, free, and majestic above the clouds. Yeah, but you can eat a turkey, brother. There's John Hancock. Shit, I'll sign for that. I'm fucking starving.
Yeah, that's our buddy Ngaio Belam. Get the album Weed and Sex. And it's on Spotify, it's on Amazon, it's on a bunch of places. iTunes, I think, too.
Yeah, go to his Facebook and you can find it, I'm sure.
Yeah, Ngaio.
Ngaio. Ngaio is his name. Hello.
You'll get it. And great stuff. Love Ngaio. When we come back, we're going to take a little break. But when we come back, we have the top headline of 2013 so far. We're only a quarter of the year in, I know.
But this one, seriously, it's a hat trick.
At least.
Yeah.
This might be a grand slam. Depends on how you look at it. Well, you'll see when we come back.
You be the judge.
You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the only way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak to my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at www.omarfigueroa.com.
It's all about lovely Miss Rita. Girl always stand on the parking meter. Lovely Rita, meet a mate. Nothing can come between us. When it gets dark, I throw your heart away. Nothing can come between us.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We told you that we have the headline of 2013. We're only a few months in, 3 months in, 1/4 of the way through, and we already have the headline of the year. So without further ado, pomp and circumstance, I will give you the headline of 2013. Are you ready? From the Irish Central, cross-dressing Catholic priest and adult store owner to plead guilty to meth dealing ring. Yeah. Let me say it again. Cross-dressing. There's one.
Okay, cross-dressing.
Cross-dressing. Catholic priest and adult store owner.
There's 3.
Same guy. To plead guilty to meth dealing ring.
Yeah, I guess that's 4 things. Yeah. It's,
I wonder how this went down, when they were going through the headlines, trying to propose what story would be covered. And they said, "Boss, I got good news and bad news." The good news is we have a story about a Catholic priest who did not molest a little boy. Woo! The bad news is he's a cross-dresser who owns an adult store and a meth ring. Wow. Okay, here's the story. Monsignor Kevin Wallen, a Connecticut priest now being nicknamed Monsignor Meth, is expected to plead guilty next week to participating in a conspiracy to distribute crystal methamphetamine in Connecticut. The Connecticut Post reports that court papers filed on Tuesday show that the 61-year-old Monsignor Wallen is expected to enter a guilty plea, which will have him facing a mandatory 10 years in a federal prison. And here's the deal. AP, Associated Press, reported the authorities found that Wallen had meth mailed to him from his co-conspirators in California. Okay, so the priest is getting a shipment of meth.
And where is he? He's in Ireland.
He's in Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut.
No, the story is from the Irish Times,
okay.
But this is just...
This is in Connecticut. Okay, so
Connecticut.
Fine.
So from California to Connecticut, getting the meth mailed to him. Okay. And made over $300,000 in sales from his apartment in just the second half of last year, and purchased a bookstore that primarily sold pornography and sex toys to use as a front to launder the $300,000. While serving as pastor of St. Augustine Parish in Bridgeport for 9 years until he resigned in June of 2011. Prior to that, he served for 6 years as pastor of St. Peter's Church in Danbury until 2002. Yeah. While still serving as a priest, many noted his off-kilter behavior in early 2011. One church worker said that Wallen had grown disillusioned with the bureaucracy of the church. The same worker, along with others, said the priest had long had sex with men and was a cross-dresser. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's indicted on a charge of conspiracy to distribute 500 grams or more of a substance containing meth and 50 grams of actual meth. 10-year mandatory minimum. Wow.
Okay.
So there you go. There's your headline of the year.
Talk away.
I'm sure, someone will try to beat that.
Oh yeah. By the end of this year, we're going to have some stupid stoner story that tops that, I'm sure.
Oh, but we got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, get this guy's kind of annoying.
Creeping me out.
Like, yeah. Get pedo boy out of here.
Yeah, all right. No, not. See, now we can't. That's not fair.
Okay, we do
not know
fine.
that he has abused any children.
Get the cross-dresser.
He was getting, as far as we know, everybody involved in his meth thing and having sex and stuff was all adults. So, hey, fine with that.
Okay.
All right, so back to the marijuana.
The meth dealing thing,
Well, except the meth dealing thing. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, the bookstore and the being a priest and the cross-dressing, that can kind of be forgiven by most of society in this day and age. But the meth dealing, come on.
Yeah. All right, so, but let's get back to the marijuana here for a second, because there was another story that I wanted to talk about here, and I can't remember where I left it, but I shall search for it. I know where it's in here somewhere. But, we talked about this yesterday about how the federal government really doesn't want us doing any positive research on marijuana.
Yeah, no, they don't want to hear anything good coming out of any studies that they funded saying that, there's some benefits, any kind of benefits or non-harms from cannabis use.
Yeah, that's not going to happen in our lifetime. They're not going to fund anything that's going to subvert their cause of trying. Now, I'm of the opinion right now that what's going on is that we are experiencing a holding pattern. When you're flying into the city and you got to hold over the area there. We're in a holding pattern right now as the government attempts to get the cannabinoid pharmaceuticals through their clinical trials. Mm-hmm. Sativix is in phase 3 clinical trials right now. So it's only a matter of time before the government now has an approved medicine that they can offer to all the medical marijuana patients, right? Instead of
letting people grow their own medicine and not paying the government for it,
Exactly. So, and it's going to be harder and harder to pass medical marijuana laws once these cannabinoid pharmaceuticals get online, because then all the sob stories that you've got as far as, these patients, they need it for their medicine. Well, now they've got something to turn to say, well, here's something that works just as good, and it actually is medicine. We actually approve it, and your insurance company will actually pay for it. So you don't really need that plant now, do you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What's that? Uh-oh.
Oh, it sounds like we are here for another episode.
Raid of the day. That's right. the adventures of the intrepid SWAT teams all across America, ensuring that nobody smokes a joint on their porch. We turn to the SWAT raid of the day, courtesy of Radley Balco and the Huffington Post. Today's raid of the day, Operation D-Day. You can learn more about this from Radley Balco's upcoming book, Rise of the Warrior Cop, The Militarization of America's Police Forces. It's coming out in July. You can pre-order it on Amazon. In May 2008, as part of a massive effort tellingly codenamed Operation D-Day, Florida law enforcement and DEA agents raided 150 homes around the state that were suspected of growing marijuana. The impetus for the raids was a new state law that dramatically increased prison sentences for growing pot. Floridians faced up to 30 years in prison for pot plants, even if police had no evidence that the plants were intended for anything other than personal consumption. One of the raids hit the Opalaca home of Noel and Isabel Llorente, Cuban immigrants who say they came to America to escape government oppression and the commando tactics of the Cuban police. Noel Llorente, who was just leaving for work, was pulled from his vehicle, thrown to the ground, and handcuffed at gunpoint. The agents then ripped off Llorente's front door from its hinges and confronted Isabel Llorente. She thought she was being robbed and was attempting to call the police. The police had raided the wrong house. The Llorentes said they were given only a curt apology, and the police were on their way. They left no search warrant, and they did in no time help anyone who was involved with the raid. The Russ Belville Show. Hey, quiet you. I'm trying to work here. They left no search warrant and no contact information for the Llorentes to arrange to repair the damage the police did to their home. Noel Llorente told a local TV station, quote, "When I asked them about the door, they said, sorry. When I asked them about my reputation, they said, sorry." Despite the heavy-handed tactics and the saturation raids, the police found all of 10 guns. Of the 135 people they arrested, only 10 merited felony drug charges. This has been your raid of the day. Yeah, that's our boys in blue collecting overtime to bust down the doors of Cuban immigrants who were completely innocent. Oops, wrong address. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, we ripped your door off the hinges. Oh, well, I'm sure you can fix it. Not a problem. You understand we had to do it to keep America safe from people who are smoking pot.
Sorry. The fuck?
The fuck, exactly.
Shit, man. I mean, if this stuff doesn't piss you off, then, you know, I don't know.
So, and to me, this statewide sweep, and this is exactly what happens, and I think lawmakers don't understand this to the extent they need to, is that policing drugs is a profitable exercise.
Yeah.
This is how police departments make money, okay? And so when you go and raise the amount of punishment that you're going to give for growing plants, which is what they did in Florida. This all came about because Florida passed this law against grow houses. They're all freaked out because people were renting out, houses in, where rich people live, where middle class people live. It's come to us. They're all freaked out.
We smell marijuana in our neighborhood?
Oh no, that's terrible.
This is a gated community. What's going on?
So they were buying these houses, in middle class communities and just, having, not living there, just outfitting every single room with lights and,
grow equipment,
jacking electricity, and I'm not for that, of course. I'm not
not for jacking electricity.
Turning our neighborhoods into industrial grow areas is not the way we should handle this. But the reason that happens is because it's illegal. Yeah. So instead of doing the sensible thing and moving toward, hey, let's tax and regulate this, let's have a sensible organization and laws about this, when you clamp down on it more, you make the problem worse. And this is the perfect example of that.
You wouldn't have them trying to hide it in plain sight if it was legal and they could just go legally to a big warehouse, and rent it You know, it's like
yes.
shit.
And so when
Think about this.
You've done this for so long, the solution seems so obvious, and it just gets harder and harder every year to see them putting people in jeopardy, putting property in jeopardy, stealing from us, ripping us off, lying about us, throwing us behind bars for a plant. Makes no sense.
It did not make sense, people. It doesn't make sense. It's like the Chewbacca.
Why would an 8-foot Wookiee be hanging out with a bunch of 4-foot Ewoks? This does not make sense.
Actually, I have an explanation for that, but we'll get to it after this.
Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man. Let him bring in the beat.
Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio, The Russ Belville Show, Ganja John, and Cascadia Concentrates, among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Adam's meticulous designs are individually crafted and screened in vibrant high-definition color. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
Let him bring in the beat. Rain me champagne when I'm thirsty. Give me a reefer when I want to get high. Give me champagne when I'm thirsty. Give me a reefer when I want to get high. Bring my woman and settle right down here by my side. Well, it shouldn't be no law. If people, they want to smoke a little dope. Shouldn't be no law. If people, they want to smoke a little dope. Well, it's good for the head. Relax their body, don't you know?
Welcome back. Toker Talk Radio here. Sorry to take so long. I had to read up on this story that Trickster Philip sent me, and not a whole lot of details yet, but the way this is getting framed leads me to believe that not all is as it seems. This is coming out of Orlando, Florida, and we first get a note from it from Reason.com. The headline, Anti-Government Couple on run after kidnapping their own children from court-appointed guardian. And the gist of the story here is that the mom and dad Joshua and Sharon. Joshua and Sharon are on the run with their own kids. They kidnapped their own 2 kids from Sharon's mom, Patricia, who has the custody of the grandchildren, the legal custody. So, the mom and the dad go to the grandma's house, tie the grandma up, take the 2 kids and her car, and get the hell out. So, what's this whole anti-government thing? Well, they're saying that the reason this guy lost custody of his kids, the couple lost custody of kids, is because they were displaying pot in front of their sons at an anti-government rally in Louisiana. So, let's see if I'm trying to dig into this. There's not a whole lot of details coming across right yet, but according to investigators, the couple lost custody of the 2 boys after an anti-government rally in Louisiana. Now, what is an anti-government rally? Is this like an Occupy thing? Is this what they're talking about? Because it doesn't say. Every report I'm getting on this so far just says an anti-government rally. Well, what the hell is an anti-government rally? Is a Tea Party rally an anti-government rally?
Yeah.
Is an Occupy rally an anti-government rally? Right there, just by reporting it as an anti-government rally, bothers the hell out of me because it's supposed to be news reporting. Well, now, let me take it back a little bit. If they actually had a banner that said, "Welcome to the anti-government rally," then maybe let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was billed as an anti-government rally. I don't know. But I'm a little suspicious.
I doubt that.
I'm a little suspicious. So, the Tampa Bay Times, according to Tampa Bay Times, they run an engineering firm out of the Tampa area. Parental rights were terminated by a Louisiana court yesterday. And let's see. He was originally arrested, according to the Times-Picayune, in Louisiana. Was arrested for possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of a controlled dangerous substance in the presence of a minor. He had pot and a pipe in front of a kid. Now, on the Orlando Sentinel's homepage now, you know what? Let me get the video. I'll just show you. I will show you what's on their homepage right now because, this is news, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the Orlando Sentinel. I'll widen this and enlarge it and all that. Takes me a second, but okay. Orlando Sentinel, Amber Alert. Anti-government parents tie up grandma, abduct 2 boys. Deputies say. There's the 2 boys and there's the couple. National Amber Alert was issued Wednesday for 2 Tampa area boys, Cole and Chase, after they were abducted by their anti-government parents. Deputies say. The deputies keep saying that they're Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "Both suspects are anti-government and have attempted a previous abduction at gunpoint in Louisiana." That previous abduction was the dad trying to get his sons from a foster care place. He had a gun and was knocking on the door, and when they called the cops, he took off. So, I don't want to say that, necessarily that these guys are in the right or in the wrong. There's not enough details yet to really know. Maybe these parents really do suck. Maybe they were caught for displaying a pipe, but really behind the scenes they're awful parents. I don't know. We don't know all the details behind how the court took away the custodial rights. But generally, what's going on in these stories is where they can't get you in the criminal court, they will get you in the family court. If you've ever listened to A Different View with Jen and Iva, Jennifer has talked many times about the use of CPS, Child Protective Services, and how even if you're not charged with the crime, if you haven't been convicted yet, they'll take your kids from you. And they'll use the threat of taking your kids from you to get you to cop a plea in some of these cases. So, again, we don't know all the details yet, but continuing to call them anti-government, that's the part that's really bothering me here. Where they had an Occupy rally, where they had a Tea Party rally. What is it that we're calling anti-government in this country anymore? That's where I've got some concern. And if anybody out there listening in Florida, you can send me email or get me on Twitter or Facebook and let me know more details about this. I'll follow up on it as best I can. I'm going to take a little break here so that I can do just that, try to get you more details on this story breaking out of Florida. But really, as was it Mike Riggs in Reason writing on this one? Check this out. Yeah, Mike Riggs writing in Reason says, there's not a lot of go on here, but if this is really all a result of them using some pot at a rally in front of their kids? Really? All right, we'll be back.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
The High Times Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam is recognized as the world's premier marijuana competition. Over the years, thousands of judges have attended the Cannabis Cup, sampling the best indicas, best sativas, best hybrids, and the best hash on the planet. In the April 2013 issue of High Times, read all about the sensational 25th Cannabis Cup that took place in November. Find out about the latest killer strains. Decide what to grow in your garden this year. Celebrate 25 years of the Cannabis Cup in this very special issue of High Times magazine. On sale now.
Fun. Big Daddy thinks.
Funky roller
Ooh, yeah.
Just give me a second, let me take a dry, you know. I tell from the smell it's the highest grade. No, but it ain't gonna waste, cause I love to blaze up a Mary J. Puff it up all day. Wicked heart tremble when the chalice blaze. A good stuff flowing through my brain, tranquilize the pain. Oh, this herb stimulating my mind. After a hard day's work, herb makes me unwind. So don't you run round my herb, stimulating my mind. After a hard day's work, herb, it make me calm my nerves. In the morning, I blaze it while I pray. Motivation for me to face the day. Ooh, Mother Earth, grow it naturally. My herb, it make the best tea for me. Take me places I've never been, show me things I've never seen. Oh, this herb stimulating my mind. After a hard day's work, herb, it makes me unwind. So don't you cut down my herb, stimulating my mind. After a hard day's work, herb, it make me calmer, it make me calm my nerves. Sacramental, no grabber, no blunt, send me blazing item. Spiritual, food for the brain.
All right, welcome back. Toker Talk Radio here. Phone number is 971-533-7111. That's music from Oba Simba with This Herb. Speaking of This Herb and Oba Simba, tonight at 8 o'clock Pacific time, we got Red Eyes Reggae Flashback with this guy.
Yes, sir.
Red Eyes.
Yep, we're going to have some great reggae music for you tonight. And some old and new, you know how I do.
The roots.
Some good stuff, man. But definitely, we try and keep it irie, but there's always a message in the songs I play, you know. That's just what the music's about to me, you know, a message. So.
Right on. Well, I'm finding more news on this story. I'm just finding it's going around the world now. The Mail Online, the Daily Fail, as our friend Cannabis Cure likes to call it, is reporting it as Armed and dangerous anti-government parents abduct sons, aged 2 and 4, from grandmother's home.
Armed and dangerous.
Now they're armed and dangerous anti-government parents. Any minute now they'll be terrorists. Let's see. Now CNN, police believe couple abducted their children from grandmother.
Yeah.
Nothing about anti-government there.
Police believe. That's good.
And Hacken. Now here's the third paragraph. Described as an anti-government protester. Okay, so at least CNN is reporting it neutrally. They're saying others have described him as. We're not saying he is anti-government.
Well, I mean, if they've got your picture, near a rally, they could say, "Oh, you're there, you're anti-government." It's like, shit, I could be pegged as anti-government a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm on a list.
Oh, we're on several lists. But,
it's always nice to be popular.
That's why we sit here.
Yeah. The sheriff's office told CNN there have been ongoing issues with Hacken since he attended an anti-government rally somewhere in Louisiana in June of last year. He was arrested at the rally on multiple drug charges, officials said. Well, wait a minute. If he was arrested, then don't we know where the rally is? Somewhere in Louisiana. All right. Louisiana authorities have told Florida investigators that the children were initially placed in a temporary foster care after being taken away from the Hackens. Sometime later, investigators allege the couple went to the foster care center armed and tried unsuccessfully to enter it. At some point over the past few months, the children were sent to Tampa to live with their grandmother, Patricia Hauser, the mother of Sharon Hacken. Somehow they found out where the kids were, and an Amber Alert is being issued now. All right, so we suspect the wife is with him. He has a history of being armed. Well, yeah, you took his kids for smoking pot. It's like, here's the thing. It's like, I'm not condoning this in any way, but I'm understanding it. You know what I mean? This is not the right way to go about it. It's not going to end well for you, pal, but I understand what you're up to. It's like when you start to see how corrupt and messed up the world can be, especially in government and everything, corruption, all the injustice that's going on. And then you want to, engage in your First Amendment right to protest and to petition your government for redress of grievances and have your freedom of speech at a rally. Even if it is so-called anti-government rally, that's exactly what our Constitution protects. It's exactly what it protects, is us having rallies, peaceably assembling, petitioning our government for redress of grievances, having our freedom of speech. There's nothing in that Constitution that says, oh, but you can't be anti-government. No, that's exactly the way we're supposed to be anti-government. It's by protesting, not by picking up weapons and having a revolution, but by peacefully protesting and using the system that we have here to amend and change and evolve and grow in this country. So here's a guy, stand up for his rights, gonna go protest, gonna peacefully protest at this place, and gets caught with a pipe and some weed. Which, boy, huge crime there. Got caught with a pipe and some weed, and because of that, now you take his kids away. So here's a guy who might have been borderline paranoid, let's say, perhaps, maybe, I'm no doctor, but maybe he's borderline paranoid in the first place, and you've just justified to him all of the anti-government things, all the stereotypes that you would say about the people, anti-government or whatever, you've justified to him. You took his kids away over having a pot pipe. So now he really does believe all the things about anti-government and wants to take it to the next level. And as any father or parent would want to do, rescue your children. How did you not expect this to happen? And it's this stupid marijuana prohibition that starts the ball rolling, not just on this case, but so many others. So many others where, people, I hate it when Kevin Sabet and the Project Sam people and all these rehabbers come out and they say, well, we don't really lock up a lot of people for marijuana. Well, no, you're right. Statistically, we don't really have long, exceptional prison sentences for people convicted of solely small amounts of marijuana possession. But oftentimes that small amount of marijuana possession is the little rip in the thread that starts to unravel their whole freaking life.
Yeah, the entire freaking existence can come falling to shit just because they've been outed, or maybe they've had their kids taken away, and that screws with your head. It's like my dad, he was, an activist, and he was afraid pretty much every day, that he might get taken away, or that we might get taken away. And, it's crap. No parent should have to worry about this over a plant. It's,
Yeah, I'm searching the net here. This has gone out to Tampa Bay Times. I'm looking at their local news, but there's nothing, everybody keeps talking about, all the news reports talk about this anti-government rally in Louisiana, but they're not saying when it was. They're not saying where in Louisiana it was, what city, or what it was. And I'm saying, if this was an Occupy rally, then this whole bluster about it being anti-government parents, I got a huge problem with that.
Yeah.
Now, the children are age 4 and 2.
Well, or if it was like a cannabis rally,
Right, yeah. Shit, could have been.
Well, because that's anti-government.
Could have been. So, now, to divorce the politics out of this for a second, the kids, I'm worried about the kids. They're 4 and they're 2, and no matter, they can't understand what the hell's going on. All they knew is they got taken from mom and dad and put in a foster home. And then they got taken from a foster home and given to grandma. And then mom and dad showed up and put grandma in zip ties and took them away, and everything's stressful. And so this is just, it's terrible. It's terrible for these kids. And that's where I've got the problem with the parents at this point. Like I said, I understand where they're coming from, but this was not the solution. The solution was lawyers. That's your solution. But then again, lawyers cost money.
Yeah, lawyers cost money and lawyers take time, and when you're already frustrated with the way that the system's been screwing you around, then sometimes you just have to, you feel like you have no other choice.
Let's check up on our chat room here. What are they saying here? Disclaimer, I have no children. That's right. Let's see. June last year was the arrest, location and search for local rallies. One of the news reports did specify, I think it was the update in Reason. Let me see. Yes, the Times-Picayune police blotter. It was June 17th, 2012. So let's see here. Yeah, so it was June 17th, 2012 of Tampa was arrested for possession of marijuana. This is from the Times-Picayune police blotter, Slidell. Summons issued by the Slidell police. So that's Slidell, Louisiana. All right, so we got to put Rio on this because he probably know this area better than I do.
I think he wasn't feeling well and he went to nap a little while ago. So.
Okay, well we'll get him on the ball on this. But Slidell, Louisiana. Now we need to find in June of last year, were there rallies? What kind of rallies were there around that time? I am going to dig into the net and we will find out more. This is live news gathering right here on Toker Talk Radio. So we're going to take a little break, and hopefully we'll have more information on this when we come back. And y'all are willing, you got the internet too. Do some Googling. Let's crowd surf this one. Let's see what we can find out.
You cut people, you smoke trees till you get what you need now. Designer drugs and minted smoke to get through the day. You always get them so high.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
I've been playing rock and roll for a lot of years, and I've done it all. Now I do it without drugs. Hey, don't get me wrong, I still party with the best of them, but now I do it clean. I'm on top of everything I do.
What am I doing here? 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 What am gotta get out of here. Oh, my head. My head, it hurts. Oh, it hurts.
Break it up, roll it tight. I need a spark, give me a light. Take a hit, pass it down. My fingertips are getting brown. Yeah. Take a chill. Cause you know it's what I wanna do. Lift your mind and do it right. Match me up, smoke a pipe. When we get where we wanna be, roll again, pass to me. If you feel that you can breathe.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Toker Talk Radio. Doing more of the research. I'm on the Occupy NOLA. That's New Orleans, Louisiana, for those who don't know, NOLA. Occupy NOLA on Facebook, which is all I have my first guess here as far as what rallies would have happened. Nothing on their Facebook page around the June area there. June 16th, 2012, they had a very special event, a screening of Bailout, and a discussion with Sean Fahey, the writer and director of the film, joining them from Tahrir Square after the screening, right? So coming in by Skype. There will also be a presentation before the screening from someone from the Occupy Caravan about adventures on the road. But the screening was June 20th, so I'm not seeing anything that they might have had around June 16th. So anyway, we'll do more research on that after the show, see what we can find. But you are listening to Toker Talk Radio here on 420radio.org. If you're just joining us, we're talking about this case out of Florida where two parents who are described as anti-government because they went to an anti-government rally in Louisiana, abducted their own kids, age 2 and 4, from the kids' grandma, who had legal custody, because they got custody taken away, because while they're in Louisiana at an anti-government rally, they were caught with weed and a pipe in front of their kids. So this whole, now it's an Amber Alert. They're on the run, and it's national news and international news. I'm reading in the British papers now. And all because had a pipe and some pot in front of the kids. That was the original charge that originally got the kids taken away from them, because you're such a danger to your kids if you're a pot smoker. This has got to stop. This is so insane. If the whole idea here is what about the children? We got to worry about the well-being of the children. Then what good are we doing them, shuttling them from foster home to foster home, putting them in, grandma's care, taking them away from their parents at the ages of 2 and 4 when they need that connection, they need that to build that trust in family. We're causing so much more damage than would have been caused, at least from what we know from reports, from them just being with their parents who might have maybe, unconventional views. There's nothing in this that has told us anything about them being bad parents, abusing their kids or not caring for them or neglecting them or whatever. We have no evidence of that. All we know is they had pot and a pipe in front of their kids at a public rally. How many parents would lose their kids out here on the West Coast if, being at a hemp fest with a joint in your mouth, your kids could see it, was enough to take your kids away?
Okay, just speaking as someone who was at Seattle Hemp Fest for the first time last year, I saw parents walking around with their 14, 15-year-old kids. The kids got an oil rig, and the dad's saying, "You're going to have to buy your own oil."
Yeah.
So, don't tell me you're worrying about the frickin' kids.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating because we hear so many of these cases, children taken away because, the parent was growing a pot plant. The terrible things that could have happened from growing a pot plant, right?
Oh, the DEA could have busted in and...
Now, parent could be brewing their own beer. There wouldn't be a problem there.
Oh, yeah, no, they could brew barrels of that crap,
no problem there.
They could even have their own still and be making their own, moonshine, But...
We get stories of people, of mothers and fathers losing their kids for a picture they posted on Facebook with the kid's face pressed to the bong.
Yeah, it's like...
Now, I'm not saying that's good parenting.
No, that's...
But there was no evidence the kid was actually smoking anything.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those beer baby pictures. Go Google beer baby sometimes. You'll see hundreds and thousands of pictures of kids with beer bottles that are faking like they're drinking. That's all it was. It was a silly gag. Yeah. But, danger.
When it's marijuana, oh my God. No.
And it'll just
Look what they're doing. They're endangering that child. And there's no telling what that marijuana could do.
And how much worse is this going to be when in Colorado, mom and dad can grow 3 mature plants and have an ounce on them and all the pipes and bongs and all that in the house they want, right? And they can have their kids and have a fine relationship and everything's cool. But over next door in Kansas, that's the same situation. The kids are in desperate danger and have to be removed from the parents, and the family has to be broken up, and they have to spend thousands of dollars on lawyers and hundreds of hours in court. That's not going to be able to stand for very long. As more and more of these stories come out where, why isn't it dangerous in Colorado, but it's dangerous in Kansas? Why exactly? Right? That's going to become untenable. Just as, our opponents accused us of this, and I have no problem copping to it. And that is with medical marijuana being the camel's nose under the tent. Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. It's Trojan horse. It's absolutely right. Legalizing medical marijuana is the first step to legalizing marijuana. Yep, you got me. Honest. You're absolutely right. You know why? Because marijuana then goes from being deadly, dangerous drug to being helpful herb. And then once it's helpful herb, you can't look at Granny with glaucoma and say, oh, it's okay for her, but, 22-year-old skateboarder, no, he can't have it. That makes no sense. So yeah, in that sense, medical marijuana is the crack in the wall of ignorance. It is the way that we begin to show people what marijuana really is. And once they know the truth, yes, they're more likely to want to legalize for everyone else. I have no problem copping to that. So just as medical marijuana made the transition between, oh my God, it's the devil's weed, to, hey, it's just an herb, just like that, legalization in Colorado and Washington will have the same effect to all of the reefer madness scares that we've been exposed to all of our lives. It can no longer be, oh my God, if we legalize marijuana, the sky will fall, when people look at Colorado and Washington and they still have sky. Right? You're not going to be able to support that anymore. What they're going to have to hope for is bad statistics.
Sure, the skies are a little cloudier, but they're still there.
They're still there. What they're going to have to hope for is bad statistics.
Have a call here?
Yes, let's go to our phone lines. I'm so sorry, you're right. I had forgotten we had someone holding on the line who so diligently held for so long. I apologize. 617, you're on the air.
Hi, Russ. It's Amber. Sorry, I didn't know if I should have told her, but I don't know the etiquette. But
you're fine.
I just wanted to shed a little light on this Louisiana story because I do live in Boston. I've lived here for almost 5 years now, but I come to Boston. I've come via Louisiana.
Okay.
I was raised there and still have family there. So Slidell is, yeah, you're right. It's actually it's outside of New Orleans. And yeah, it's a smaller town, I think. I don't know how much, they may have grown in the past few years, but yeah, if this really is over pot and a pipe, I mean, that would be crazy. I know we don't know the whole story yet, and I hope that we can, keep tabs on the story, but if that is really all it's about, that is, you're right.
I've heard stories
it's so
too.
Scary.
I've heard stories about the corruption on the New Orleans Police Department as well, and I don't know if that extends over to Slidell as well. But it seems an awful, gross overreaction to catching a guy in a park with pot and a pipe to taking away his kids. That's what an overreaction that is.
Yeah, I have a younger brother, and he's about to kind of, he's a young adult, so he's about to kind of go out into the world, and he's a cannabis consumer and responsible one, and it's wow, and he's moving further south to Baton Rouge, which is also South Louisiana, and wow, if I thought, if anything, it might be a little more liberal down there, because I know New Orleans has decrim of half an ounce, passed by the city council a couple of years ago. So who knows? But thanks for covering that, and I guess we'll have to follow up on it.
Yeah. Let's find out more about that. Actually, a thanks go out to Trickster Phillips in our chat room, who sent me the link earlier. And that's one of the things we love about doing this show is if you're listening and there's something going on in your neighborhood or your local area that doesn't bubble up to the national news, but it's a big cannabis story. Yeah, let us know. We appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks.
Amber, thank you for holding on so long. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem.
Okay, bye-bye.
Too many screens open.
Yeah, too many screens. But we'll be fixing a lot of that stuff, too. As time goes on and we get more equipment, we're going to be diversifying this. I got an email out to the guys at the Weed Blog for setting up the Libramator on a virtual machine on their servers, and then we would just remote control into it.
Oh, nice.
So that way we could do it from the road or from here or wherever we want to do it. So
okay. Well, but before we go out, I said that I would tell you the reason why an 8-foot tall Wookiee would live on a planet of 2-foot tall Ewok.
Yes.
Is that I know that Wookiee personally, and he has told me his story.
Yes.
When he was young, he was the shortest Wookiee. And he moved to from the planet Kashyyyk, to the planet Endor because he wanted to feel tall.
It was an inferiority complex.
It is that exactly.
He had short Wookiee syndrome.
Yep. He was, he may have seemed tall on the movie, but trust me, if you had ever met another Wookiee, you would see that he was very short.
Oh, there we go. We have it from the source himself, Brian the Nerd. Hey, that's all the time we got here for Toker Talk Radio, but at least we recorded it this time. So the replay will be back on in 1 hour. Coming up next, a replay of episode 50 of A Different View, followed by the replays of today's shows, and then at 8 o'clock tonight,
episode 24 of the Red Eyes Reggae Flashback.
All right. For Brian the Red, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant